Jesse Howe?
Very good.
Looks good.
Love the
Hello.
ceiling fan. I have my own ceiling fan.
Hello, welcome to God Family Politics. I am Dr. Tyra Hodge, and today we're going to be talking about a movie that I just got to screen, and it's called Lifemark. I do have Rebecca Rogers Nelson with me today, and I just wanted to say before I introduced her why this is so important. During COVID, I wanted to have time watching TV with my kids. My youngest son is now 18 and my youngest daughter is 17, but during COVID a couple of years ago we tried to watch movies together, and everything was awful and it was embarrassing for all of us. And so Lifemark, when I heard about the movie, I knew it was safe. I just knew it was safe because it was poured out. Miss Nelson, thank you so much for being on the show. How are you?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
This movie, you play the.
I think you're stuck.
You play the. There you are.
Okay.
Am I good? So,
you were just frozen for a moment, but that's okay. We'll roll with it.
Okay. You play the adoptive mother of a young man. And you played it so well. And can you maybe share with why you think I know your job is to be an actress and you're a writer and everything, but you played this role well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. And I think that what you're kind of hinting at is that I had a personal connection to this particular role. And I did. And I have to just tell you a little brief story about how I got this role. A girlfriend of mine who's also an actress said, "Becky, have you heard about the Kendrick brothers movie? They're auditioning for parts." And I said, "No, I have not," because sometimes faith-based movies are not coming across the desks of mainstream casting people and agents and stuff. So I called my agent and I said, "I want to audition for this movie." And so she got me in and I auditioned and I got a call back. And the callback's kind of like this, where it's on screen. And on screen, it was Alex Kendrick and Stephen Kendrick and our wonderful casting director, Beverly Holloway, and Kevin Peoples, and of course, Kirk Cameron.
Yes.
And so they said, "Becky, we like your work in this. We think that you're right for this part. We need to ask you a couple of questions. Are you okay with adoption? How do you feel about adoption?" Well, I started crying. I said, "I love adoption. Adoption is my heart. Adoption is my ministry. My husband and I are very, very outspoken about how we feel about the mandate for the church to care for the widows and the orphans. So yes, I'm in on adoption." And they're like, wow, is there any reason why it's so personally connected for you?" And I said, "Yes, 4 of my 5 children are adopted." And what's so beautiful is Alex Kendrick, actually, Stephen has an adopted child. And also, of course, Kirk Cameron has adopted 4 of his 6 children. So we all came together as co-workers and as filmmakers, but also as ministry leaders, in the sense that we all have a passion for adoption in our own personal ministries.
Rebecca, could you please tell us a little bit about the movie without, if I do it, I'm going to spoil it and then I'm going to start crying, because I was almost crying like many times through this movie. I was like, okay, this is so good. So a little bit about it.
There might be some spoiler alerts on this, but I will say briefly, this story is about an 18-year-old girl who finds herself in an unplanned pregnancy, and she feels like the only choice that she has is to terminate the pregnancy. So she goes to an abortion clinic to do just that. And she, in the last moment, cannot. She rolls off the abortion table and says, I can't do this. I know that my baby has 10 fingers and 10 toes, and she feels like the Lord is just saying, get up right now. And so she does. And she makes the decision to place this baby up for adoption. Well, my character and Kirk Cameron's character, we're husband and wife, and we are chosen to adopt this baby.
That was an
Fast
amazing.
forward, this baby turns 18. And the baby, who's now a boy, 18 years old, wants to meet his birth mom. So Lifemark is the story about how this boy connects with his birth mom, and the adoptive mom and the adoptive dad, Kirk Cameron and myself, help facilitate that meeting.
What does it mean, one, to be pro family, pro love, pro forgiveness, pro reconciliation, and pro new beginning stories? Just pick any one of those and go for it.
Okay. Here's the thing. I think that this issue is so heated right now, and I think some people are falling on one side of it, and some people are falling on the other side, as if there's only two choices. Well, I think what Lifemark likes to present is there's a third choice.
Yeah.
There is the choice of adoption, the adoption option. And I think for too long, birth moms have been given the stigma of a child or a person who's found themselves in a naughty situation. Well, guess what? We're all naughty. We all mess up. And the bottom line is she has a choice and a chance to be a hero for a family, to be an answer to prayer for a couple waiting for a child. So I think as a culture, we need to shift the stigma about an unplanned pregnancy and acknowledge that God can do anything in any situation. And what the enemy means for evil, God can turn it to good.
Amen. Amen. Um, you've been in the business for a long time, and I was reading that you started off. Do you mind if I know we're talking about the movie, but can we talk about you just for a little bit?
Well, sure, as long as it ends with highlighting Pureflix, which is I love Pureflix, and I'll tell you why, some other reasons too, but go ahead.
Well, you started off in New York as an
Yeah.
actress, and so you moved to California. And so can you talk about how that transition led you to Pureflix?
Yes, I can. So I started out acting, and right out of college went to New York City, and immediately God blessed me with getting into the union and commercials and theater. And I was working pretty steadily from the time I was 22. And then at about year 13 or 14, our union SAG went on strike and nobody was working. And it was really like, what is going to happen now? Well, my mom said, Becky, why don't you start working on the other side of the camera? You've always loved writing. You've always loved directing. Why don't you think about that? So I went back to school. And when I went back to school, I found that writing was my absolute outlet. You know, acting, you have to really depend on other people to hire you. Well, with writing, you can do that in your pajamas. And so I began writing quite a bit. I got into a program called Act One Writing for Hollywood, which was based on a writing sample. I went to that program in LA, and I fell in love with LA. I felt like that was sort of my home. And so I moved there, and within 6 months, I met my amazing husband, and we got married. And pretty quickly, we had our little guy, Ben, I think a year and a half into our marriage, and we thought that was easy. Let's have another one. Well, this is getting more to the adoption story, but it became very clear after two miscarriages that we would not be able to grow our family unless we chose adoption. And that began us on the process of adopting. And after an 8-hour seminar with the foster care system, believe it or not, we got a phone call 4 days later with a placement, and that began our journey. So within 2 years, we went from our little family of 3 to a family of 6. Is that right? Yes.
Wow. Wow.
4 kids, 5 and under.
Rebecca, why Pureflix?
Okay, so Pureflix, that was the end of the story. So Pureflix for me, and I'm going to be very transparent here.
Please.
There are networks that are out there that have attempted and have been wholesome for many, many years. I'm not going to name any names, but for many, many years, they have been wholesome and they've been catering to the family. And recently, there's been some changes in that network. And I think that audience members are looking for other options.
Yes.
So is talent. So are content creators. And I have found that Pureflix is the alternative that used to be the staple. Okay, so we are blazing a trail with Pureflix, saying this is what people want.
It is.
And even though content creators sometimes are on either coast, New York and LA, well, the flyover states, that's who we're creating the content for. And guess what? We're the flyover states, right? So we need to be creating content for those consumers that really believe in family, believe in God, believe in country. And I think that that's what Pureflix is doing.
And not be ashamed of it, and not have to be, they're shaming us because we have faith. And that is crazy, in America, that we are being shamed because we want purity and we want truth and we want freedoms. And so, you're making a difference. And so when I left this, watching this movie with my family, I left changed, and that's what you want. We left feeling good, a little roller coaster on emotions, but knowing that it was a true story. And not every story on Pureflix is going to be a true story, but it resonated, and this is what we needed. And thank you for having the courage to make stuff that we can watch. And so that's
thank you,
a blessing from the Lord. And Pureflix has been a blessing. And I pray that you're blessed in everything you do, and everything your hand touches continues to prosper, and that the mission that you've been called to do will continue to spread, and that God he doesn't just bless your family, but the fruit that you've developed in the family that you've grown. Thank you so much for being on my show, and just
you make me want to cry. Thank you. I pray for continued blessing for you. I'm so honored that you invited me on, and I'm so pleased that you and your family that you were blessed by this movie.
So watch Lifemark, y'all. Watch it. And if you don't have Pureflix, come on. What are you waiting for? You'll be able to watch TV without your kids walking in and something crazy flashes on the screen, and you didn't even know it was going to flash on there. Thank you. And hopefully you'll be back on our show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Welcome to Parenting Connections. Once again, I have a fabulous treat for you today. Today, I have real life couple married over 20 years, actors and actresses in the movie Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters by Pureflix. I had the pleasure of viewing this. You're going to have to excuse my list because of these Invisalign braces be getting on my nerves. But anyway, I have this wonderful couple with you, and they're going to tell us how they made it through this movie, and how it affects us in actual life. Hello, Robin and Bart.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for having us.
How are you? Let me get me off the screen. Tell me a little about what's going on.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, we lost you.
Oh no.
And let me help.
You didn't lose me. I moved myself out of the screen so everybody could see
Okay,
y'all.
we only heard the first half of that question.
This is real life stuff, y'all. This is, it's on Parenting Connections.
It's like making a movie,
going to be real life.
Yeah, I think when we talk, maybe it cuts your sentence
When
off, and
she
they don't
moves
know
the screen, we don't hear you. We literally hear
we can't-
nothing. We don't see you. We don't hear you. So bring your
we don't
face
know
back.
that question.
There you go.
There we go.
No, I'm back. I'm back. So what I'm gonna do, this is what I'll do. I'm gonna nope. Nope.
I like it.
You
I'd
like
rather
that
look at
one?
you than us.
But then you're small.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is literally going on TV.
Right.
So we're gonna work on my editing skills. Hey, Bart and Robin. I did get to see the movie Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, and I really just had to laugh. And it was funny when I found out that y'all were actually a real couple. I even laughed harder because what the father was doing to that future son-in-law was true life. That was true story going on in my house right now. And so
It's happening.
have you ever been in church? Have you ever been in church and the preacher says something and you just kind of want to like turn to that person?
Yeah.
But in church, but you don't.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, we may have to do it anyway. Like, what is going on?
So I want y'all to tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna move myself out of the show just for a minute, but we want to hear from you. We actually want to hear about the movie, and we want to hear about how you were able to do this movie together, and you're still alive, and
Still
Rob
married.
has all our-
Oh, this is laughing. So like, oh, we're still alive and we're still married.
Alive more days than others.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's tell them how we got involved in the movie.
Yeah.
So this kind of came out of nowhere, honestly. We got a phone call with a pitch of what the story was, and we liked it right away. And then we met with the director, and it turns out this director had this script, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, and we didn't know about the book at the time. We do now, obviously. But at the time, we just knew it was a really cute story that seemed very, it seemed like someone was peeking in our windows and writing a story about our life.
Wasn't it that he was cast first, then didn't David see, or the director, I think he saw our family vlog, and wasn't he like, wait a minute, your wife's an actress? Wait, is she available? Would she want to do this?
Yeah, well,
Something like that.
Yes, that's true. It happened earlier on. He saw the family vlogs first. That's where he got interested in me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you actually have a vlog too, as well?
Yeah, we
It's
have
not
a.
right. We could do better.
It's
Yeah.
not super active, but it's super fun. We have a YouTube channel with our family on there, and we make little family vlogs of our travels and our road trips and just kind of whatever we're doing. And when David was looking for an actor, our director David was looking for the right characters to play these parts. He was doing his research like a good director does, and he found our family vlogs, and he was watching the vlogs. He said, oh my gosh, this is the character. They coach soccer. They spend all the time with the kids. This is the right energy, the right sense of humor. This is exactly what he had in mind for this movie. So when we met, we hit it off right away. Yeah. And during the meeting, he said, you're the right guy. You're the right dad. What are the chances we could rope in your wife? Because that would be unbelievable if we could get both of you for this movie. So it worked out. Luckily, our schedules worked out, and we read the script. We're like, this is crazy. It's like our story. It's like our family. It's a little bit older. We have three kids. We have 2 boys and a girl. The story is 3 girls. So it seemed very, very familiar.
Wow. I'm still amazed that people allowed me to be on TV and then gave me a radio show, and I'm like, okay. Like, you want to do this? Okay. Okay. And so I'm sure your blog is great, and I think it's an amazing story about how they roped y'all in together. And so how old are your kids? And so how did this resonate with raising children?
Our kids are 19, 17, 14, boy, girl, boy. You know, that our kids are very different, I have to say. And we knock on wood, we're like, oh my gosh, our kids, they haven't hit any stages where we're like, who is this alien in our house? Oh my gosh. They are so amazing, and maybe we're biased, but I just think they're such extraordinary kids. But we do have some similarities with, like our oldest, it was the whole college conversations, and like, we want him to do this and he wants to do that, but we know better than you do. But I know better. And it was just many hours.
So what did they think about you playing in a movie together?
Oh, our kids are so funny. It's like us being in the film industry is just completely unfazes them. They're like, whatever.
They don't like watching our stuff. They're
Yeah.
like, man, I'll watch anything that you guys aren't in.
But they'll come on set though, and they'll do off-camera lines for us if needed. They'll hold the boom, and so they really do love the film entertainment, the film industry, I should say.
Yeah, our youngest boy, he was 13, Wyatt. He was holding the boom.
14.
Well, he was 13 when we were
Yeah,
shooting.
he was. Now he's 14.
And he was holding the boom and running sound, and the director put him to work on the set. So
really fun.
it's pretty fun to see their involvement.
And so, okay, so the other characters, but I really did love the dynamic between the husband and the wife in the movie, which were you two. I actually, and I did not, when I got to see the screener, I did not know, I would have had no clue that y'all were married, but there was some chemistry there.
Thank goodness
I was
for
like,
that.
I bet their husband and wife caught that. I was like, But no, there was something there that you can see, and it was a natural something. It's like when you say you introduce a couple to each other and you just know that there was that spark, and then the next thing you know, 6 months later they're dating and get married a year later. That there was just something you could see that was there, and so that's what that makes this so much more better. Give us some parenting tips.
Well, let me say this real quick about that, just super quick. In the script, the character was written a bit different, Connie, than say how I would talk to Bart. And since we are married, I feel like we had the liberty to say, some of she was getting a little like jabs at him at times when he was already down. I'm like, I would never talk to you like that. That's so like, ugh. So we talked to the director. I'm like, I'm not sure about this line. I'm not sure about the way she's handling the situation. And he was so open. He was like, make the changes you want, make it your own. You're way nicer than I am, but you just go ahead. If that's how you talk to Bart, I'm like, so we did make some tweaks, which was really cool.
I think that's a lot of credit goes to our director, who created an environment on the set where you can find those authentic moments. And the more you feel like, oh, this is how I would communicate, this is how this moment would feel, I think the audience can feel that organic, authentic feeling.
It was natural. It was very natural, because I find myself having to do that with someone that I am currently married to, and with our son-in-law. And now all my kids are going to see this, but and I keep getting on him, but okay, so we're gonna leave that alone. This is about just open up a can of worms.
We'll talk about that
on
offline.
Both sides of the family. And so I do love what you gave us right there. Tell everybody that hasn't seen it yet. I've really been encouraging people to get on the Pureflix, and we do watch Pureflix, but I've been really pushing to get on that as an alternative to everything else. We got out of TV, I want to say about 3 years ago. We stopped watching TV, but of course we kept some streaming, and some more preferable news channels. But tell us a little about what you did, because honestly, you're contributing in an area. And see, my thing is that the movie was really good. It was really good. And so in that, you are contributing to whole families. You really are, and families that need to be healthy, and that go through true stuff.
Yes.
Tell us about working with Pureflix, and then also give everybody a synopsis Michael said I can only keep you for 15 minutes. So give us a synopsis of the movie. Give us a little bit about how it was to work with Pureflix. Is it Pureflix that you're working with, or are you just your movie's just on is just going to be on Pureflix? How does that work?
Well, this is a first for us, and we didn't really know. We just got the call from Sony, so we thought it was just a Sony movie until we were halfway shooting the movie, and they said, "Oh, this is a Pureflix original." I said, "Oh, cool. Okay, we never worked for them before."
And it's their first as well.
And it's their first. But for us, you don't really know about the business end of it as actors. The director put together a really terrific cast of actors that were really great for their roles and created an environment on set where people really cared a great deal about the story and the relationships between each other.
Two real life married couples.
Two real life married couples, yeah. Maria and David.
Who are the fiance's parents? They're
the son-in-law's parents, and Maria's an old friend of mine. So
how was it working with her? One of my kids had a conniption fit when she heard that she was going to be on there, because my kids grew up back when we did have TV. They grew up watching Wizards of Waverly Places.
She's amazing. I did my very first job when I first moved to LA to become an actor was on a movie called Mi Familia, and it was with Maria. So we go way back, long time ago. And she's just a sweetheart. I love her, and it was so great getting to know her husband, David. They're amazing, and it was so fun to work with another couple. This never happens.
Yeah,
this never happens that a married couple play a married couple on a movie, but two married couples?
That's cool. That was cool.
It was cool.
So, Robin, we see, and I do a lot of work with single parents, mainly single moms, and we have seen you before. We've seen you on all kinds of things. Tell us a little bit about you. I just want you to talk to our single moms just for a little bit, even though you're not a single mom, but you are a mom. And so,
well, first of all, I single moms are like up here in my book, because not being a single mom, I have such a hard time, and I have such an amazing partner to help me with everything. So I don't know how you ladies do it. You are my heroes. Parenting is tough. It's tough when you have even a partner to bounce things off of. It's incredibly challenging. Let's not even talk about the laundry and the dishes and the dinners and all that. But wow, being a parent is the most important and hardest job of our entire lives. But what an incredible honor and what a significant privilege it is to parent. And wow, it's been the greatest gift of my life. So
we do have a unique situation where Robin will go away for 5 or 6 weeks to make a movie, and I'm a single mom, so I get a taste of it.
And you are, and I was going to ask you, but you're also a dad who stayed. Thank you for that. I mean, well, I can't say thank you. Good for you. Congratulations.
I actually love it.
Kids. But tell us to speak to those single dads, because I get it. I do get it. My husband had.
Oh, we lost you.
We lost you, but I think I got the gist of it.
Yeah, I'm here. I just wanted people to see y'all one last time.
Okay. Yeah. So when Robin leaves town, I get a real good taste of it, because it's all on me, 100% on me. And we've been really fortunate that we've been able to take turns like that. So I think we both have had a lot of opportunities to be a single mom and feel what that feels like. And that ain't no joke. That is such hard work. Yeah. And it's so difficult, especially if you want to really be there for your kids. And you want to be that super parent, and you want to be the coach and be involved in the activities and show up to everything. And we really do our best to not miss anything. So for those that don't know, that is your social life. Your social life is your kids. That's all you do. And it's worth it. And I wouldn't trade a minute of it. And it's a small window of time in your life. And I think you got to enjoy every second of it.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you and for blessing us for being on the Parenting Connections show. y'all just be blessed in your future. And we send a prayer out to your family, your kids, and for you to keep making good content like this and
Yeah.
writing content and maybe
Yeah.
directing some content. And so be blessed. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for being on our show.
Oh, thank you so much for having us.
Thank